Okay, so some questions for you from the internet, from Facebook. We'll answer these quickly because otherwise this will take for a long time, some of these questions. What kind of training do you recommend for law enforcement officers that work on shifts? The biggest problem would be not getting 10 hours night's sleep.
Well, first of all, do you need 10 hours? Probably 8 hours is enough. I think that being big and jacked is not the only solution. They know how to be able to handle themselves. You could be big and strong, but if you don't know how to fight, it's a problem. So I would say Krav Maga is the best form of fighting. It's street, real. And strength training, I would do 2 weeks a month where I concentrate on increasing my muscle mass because it has some intimidation value, but I'll go and no show is no good either. You need to be strong. So 2 weeks muscle mass, 2 weeks strength training, and then 4 Krav Maga sessions a week should be alright.
Okay, thank you. Charles's honest view on the science-bashing gurus whose tribes like to mock his work. Frank writing in said, typically with spaghetti arms, we would never make that comment, right?
No.
His honest views on Luke Guy and various other people. I'll edit that last bit.
Well,
have you answered that already?
No, but I'll make it very simple. It's all based on results. Have you ever actually produced anybody? That's the first way I judge you. If you ask me what's the ultimate criteria, have you ever trained a world record holder? That means someone who's never done anything. So that would be A score.
Okay, but that means no personal trainer has the right to have an opinion against you because they haven't produced.
No.
And that's not. So this is where you get misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Because then I haven't produced a world record holder. But my physique.
No, you physique transformations.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
But then it goes back to my first point. Have you ever produced results? But you can say whatever you want, but show me what you've done as far as results. And then that's when they become silent.
I would agree with you completely. Another one about Guru, this one about you. Why does he take this guru-like approach when giving his views on things? For example, his views on calorie counting have been virtually useless when it actually carries a huge number of advocates. I myself believe that one should count calories, but there are caveats to that. I'm not criticising, I'm curious to know why he thinks he can make such bold claims. Of course his reputation precedes him, but there are many highly successful individuals in the fitness industry who equally advocate the use of calorie counting as one of the main tools for enhancing body composition. Now I'm going to actually not let you answer that, I'm going to ask you a question. You do not believe that a calorie is a calorie, correct?
Correct.
However, it would be fair to say that you do believe in portion control.
True.
Therefore, if all the calories are equal, the guy who only eats steak, nuts, brown rice, and yams
will lose faster than a guy who has the same amount of calories from donuts, ice cream, and potato chips.
Yeah, totally agree, and it's not a controversial view.
No.
When the guy who eats his steak, his yams, his brown rice, and whatever, his clean food, wants to get leaner.
If he already has a clean diet, I would suggest increase the amount of work you do.
But you would put him therefore in a calorie deficit.
Correct.
If he doesn't have, okay, so you would rather do that rather than have him reduce his calorie intake.
Correct. But there's a few caveats that people don't look at. For example, if the orange is close to the core of the tree or far away from the core of the tree, it doesn't have the same calorie content because of the.
So it's a massive generalization. But you would restrict at a certain stage. Somebody wants to get shredded for a show, for a bodybuilding show. You may be uncomfortable calling it counting calories, but you would start to reduce. You might have, let's say, you have to start to reduce portions sizes. You do. You know that you do, right? You do.
I agree.
So you are, in a roundabout way, and this isn't about me making you change your mind. This is about me trying to actually express it in such a way so that people, because I feel people massively misinterpret this aspect of what you're talking about. Therefore, calories are relevant because you're talking about energy expenditure. Calories are relevant, and I think you had something out, didn't you? Calorie counting is for dweebs, probably. You had something like that, right? But you weren't. People just can't see the wood for the trees when you say something like that. Yes, it's a sweeping statement. Yes, if you wanted to be precise, you could have caveated that statement. But if you had to caveat every statement that we make in the fitness industry, 2 lines would become 2,000 lines every time we say anything, right?
Correct.
Exactly.
Maybe I should have said calorie counting is not as accurate as you think.
Thank you.
And would you buy a gun that's 20% accurate? Right? Oh, I'm aiming at your head, I got the car next door. That's not very good. So calorie counting, in my opinion, has too much of an error margin to solely rely on it.
Right. Then I think anybody who argues with that is an idiot.
Yes, certainly.
I would say that. Why do you take a guru-like approach in giving your views? And you don't like the word guru. I've never heard you, in all these I've known you, refer to yourself as a guru, ever even suggest that. I've only ever known you to be open-minded. Arguably, you're too open-minded because you believe in the dirty electricity stuff, right? The meridian lines and the belly button rings. These are things that are left of centre views. You're not trying to sell anything when you do that.
No.
Right? You've got no vested interest in belly ring removal businesses, have you? I mean, maybe you do. No. So you are open-minded. So why from that little crowd of individuals are you perceived as King Guru?
The King Guru comes from Bill Phillips' marketing idea. When I was writing for Muscle Media, they branded me as a strength guru, but I never walked around saying I could levitate either. So that's why I prefer strength sensei, because sensei is teacher. So I think that's more appropriate. But I don't profess.
But you do have the courage of your convictions, right?
Oh yeah.
You believe your views.
Yes.
And you've got a strong character.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to make an apology for that.
But I'm sure you could say that Schwarzenegger comes strong if needed too. All leaders do.
I totally agree with you. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, answer. We might have to edit this because I'm going to say, tell the truth. What are your thoughts and views on CrossFit?
Okay, CrossFit
in 3 words. I'll make it difficult for you. You couldn't in 3 words, could you? Without.
I could do it in 4 words.
Go on then.
Great intentions, bad methodology.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Because
for the benefit of the camera, that you said great intentions, bad methodology.
In most cases. Here's the deal. The concept of CrossFit, people go there, they bust their nuts trying to work hard. You go to a gym chain like Planet Fitness, it's just the opposite. What I like about CrossFit is people actually try hard. Another thing you find with CrossFitters, they actually believe in nutrition, okay? As opposed to the general Joe public who keep eating their cornflakes and chocolate milk. The problem is that the WOD, the workout of the day, the biggest problem with that is like having one ass and trying to sit on 2 horses, which refutes anything we know in physiology. But you look at the CrossFit boxes that do very well financially, they actually use sound training methodology. They do have varied exercise, but they follow things like order of exercise, and they do things like the balance of the muscle change and so on. So for example, I know one in Seattle that's really well run, very successful in its own. The guy actually can take holidays. It runs itself. In Denmark, I've seen quite a few good ones.
But they don't follow
CrossFit.
They don't really follow CrossFit, do they? They have the CrossFit name, and they have the principles of primal movement patterns, basic food from the land. Let's not even call it paleo because people get all innocent about paleo. They don't really have machines.
Yeah.
It's group training, so adrenaline is flying high. The social aspect of it that I think is fantastic, and they manage their form properly.
The ones that are successful, yes.
High rep Olympic lifting in a fatigued state. What do you think of that?
What's that?
High rep Olympic lifting in a fatigued state. What are your thoughts on that?
It's an invitation to injury, and it's why there's so many injuries in poorly managed CrossFit boxes. But the CrossFit boxes are ran properly. For example, there's quite a few of them. They'll seek a guy like John Bros to learn how to lift properly. Well, that is the first step, But the problem is that they can get a CrossFit certification after a day, and
I might disagree with your answer to this. Do you think that the ordinary member of the public, let's say an average 30-year-old male or female, probably has a job sat down on their arse?
Mm.
Do you think that they should be doing Olympic lifting?
Yes.
Do you really?
If taught properly, with progression.
Do you think Olympic lifting is easy enough to teach properly for the average person to be doing it?
Yes.
Do you realise this is where I disagree? I honestly disagree.
Maybe you were not taught properly.
I think it's gymnastics with a barbell. That's what I think Olympic lifting is. I think it's a skill. It's a skill, correct? That requires great motor mechanics, good coordination, mobility, strength in end ranges. I deal with general population. We do a lot of sessions. Getting a client to the stage where they can Olympic lift properly and safely. Yes, I could say the average person it could be done, but the length of time it takes, this is just my opinion, the length of time it takes to get the average person to that level, they've most likely got bored to death with training because they're not going to have the patience, because they need to see results. And they also, if they're into it, they want to go hard, and it's not about going hard, is it?
No.
You see the point I'm making?
Yes, but I disagree.